sounding. First, let me check whether there are any resources created or not, because we need at least two virtual machines for implementing this lab. Okay. And yesterday I said one screenshot also. Yesterday I only got that email. Actually, I am getting so many emails nowadays for jobs. Okay, and they are offering good packages also. So I just thought of like we people will get little bit of motivation also. Okay, people are saying so many things outside. People, there will be so many outside noises. No, they will say now hiring has stopped, AI has taken over. So many things they will say. But today also I got two calls. Okay, it's not that people are not getting calls. You need to have some good resumes. You need to make your Naukri profile visible in front of, and you need to update your Naukri profile daily. Okay, and your LinkedIn profile should be good. People are getting calls. Today I got two calls. Yesterday also I got around two calls. I am getting emails, 3 to 4 emails daily. Okay, the thing is like now I'm not that desperate for switching. Okay, because my current organization is good only, work life balance is good, so that's why I'm not looking for switch actively. Okay. Now- So now let's come to the topic. So firstly, we require two virtual machines. Okay. Firstly, we need to create a virtual machine. Okay. And it's not that you need to be master in all the things. Okay. If you are very good in Azure networking or in Azure completely on Azure also, uh, you will get good roles. Okay. But if you are presenting yourself as 1 year, oh, sorry, not 1 year, everyone is having more than 2.5 years experience. So you should be, you should have some good experience on the portal. Okay, so try to make use of the uh, free tier account that we are using currently. Try to create resource, try to click on the options and see what are the different options that we have. Okay, because you are projecting yourself as 3 years people, and if you don't practice properly for 4 months also, so how can you present yourself like that? Okay, so this VM is getting created. Okay, so we'll create another VM. Can someone tell me what is the objective of the lab, or what we are trying to achieve with this lab? Rameshri, can you tell little bit?
Windows ID.
Okay, we are trying to implement with
Win
Active Directory domain services. Okay, so what is this service? Can you tell me briefly why this service is being used?
like before Microsoft Entra ID came into existence, how we use it to do it in the Windows AD,
Okay.
how we will use it to create users and groups and provide access to that.
Okay, fine. But can you tell me what is this Active Directory domain service? What is the use of this Active Directory domain service?
It provides access to the users and it controls managing like what resources we have to manage.
Fine. It basically authorize, or you can say authenticates user to log in into the company's system. Okay, it gives you a set of credential, username and password, and using that credential only you can log into the company's or organization's laptop. Okay, so Active Directory domain service acts as a database. Okay, what does this Active Directory domain service do? It acts as a database. Okay, why is paint like this? Okay, fine. Okay, so what is this Active Directory domain service? It acts as a database. Okay, it acts as a database for users, for users, for computers, for groups, for sites, and for OUs. Okay, for now, just remember it acts as the database for all the users. Okay, so what basically is done is, suppose we have four to we are taking an example of 4 to 5 computers only in our organization. Okay, we have around 4 computers in our organization. So instead of creating the user account locally on each and every system, okay, instead of creating user accounts locally on each and every system, what we are basically doing is we are using one Active Directory service. Okay, we are using one AD service. Okay, and using this service, what we can achieve is we don't have to go on and create user accounts, groups, sites, anything on the computer locally. Okay, we can take AD service, and using this service we can basically create user accounts, groups, everything on this Active Directory service only. Okay, and what next? We will create, like suppose your name is Rameshri. Okay, so I won't be creating your user account on this computer or this computer or on any computer. So what I will be doing is I will be creating your account on the I will be creating your account on Active Directory domain service. Okay, AD service. And from here, okay, if suppose I have few more users like Ashwini. Okay, I will create her account also on the Active Directory. I have other users like Sandhya. So I will create her account also on gen.com. Okay, similarly I will have okay, let's take an example of 3-1. So I have three user accounts, so I won't be creating these accounts on this computer. Instead, what I am doing, I am creating this account on my AD service. And what I will be doing next is I will be joining these computers to this AD Active Directory. Okay, what I am doing, I have created the accounts on my Active Directory service, and I am joining all my computers to this AD service. So now what will happen? If a user wants to log into the organization computer, he will have to enter the credential which is created on the Active Directory domain service. Okay, once he enters his credentials which he has got from the administrator. Okay, so he will be authorized not locally. Okay, the user will not be authorized locally. Instead, he will be authorized from the AD service or Active Directory domain service. Okay, so we can accomplish so many things when it comes to Active Directory domain service. Okay, we can control who can log in into which system. Okay, if from here I can create a rule like that. If like this system belongs to Ramesh one. Okay, so I can create rules like that. So that what will happen is in this system, in the first system, except Rameshri, no one will be able to log. Okay, so I can create rules like that. I can create groups like that. I can create some wallpaper policies like in this system, Windows 11 wallpaper will only run. Okay, if you try to change wallpaper, then you won't be able to change. You must have observed in your organization also, if you try to make some changes, okay, or if you try to insert pen drive or some removable disk, it won't be detected. Okay, why so? Because from AD only we have created some policies like removable disks or any storage, any external devices are restricted. Okay, so we'll learn how to create policies. Okay, first thing that what we will try to achieve today is we will try to create a Active Directory domain service. We will try to create, firstly we'll take one server OS, because server OS is required for implementing any service. Okay, next we will install AD service on that. Then we will create a domain. Okay, and on that domain we will try to create user accounts. Okay, like for Ramesh, Shri, Ashwini, Shandhya, Sushma will create user accounts. And then what we will do next, we will create one client machine. Okay, why client machine? Client machine is used to access the service. Okay, if we have to access the Windows Active Directory service, we need a client machine for that. So we will create a client machine, we will join that client machine to our Active Directory domain service, and we will see. Okay, if we are trying to log in with Ramesh's credential into this client machine, if we are able to log in or not. Okay, so we'll see that. Okay, is it clear till now, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay. That's why I'm repeating the things again and again. I understand this is the technology is new. You are like getting used to Azure. Okay, so it takes time. So that's why I'm trying to repeat things. Okay, although it may extend our session duration, but I am fine. Okay, I just want you people to have some good job, get some good job. Yeah. Okay. So now let's take the RDP of this machine and let's install Active Directory domain server. Okay, we can do this through our run command option also. But if I do through run command option, na, you people won't learn. Okay, you won't get that idea how to install the Active Directory domain services and what are the different options that we get. Okay, because in CLI you don't have any visibility. Okay, that's why we'll try to implement manually. Once you are familiar with GUI, then you can use CLI or power supply. Okay. Okay. So what? Okay. Now we have our server manager ready. So how to install any service on server manager? We need to go to manage. Okay. Firstly, we need to go to see. We don't have any service installed currently. Okay. Local service, local server, and all server will be there by default. Okay. Okay, now we need to install Active Directory domain service. For that, we need to click on manage first. Then we need to click on add rules and future. Okay, second step is what? We need to click on add rules and futures. Then we need to click on next. We need to select this role based. Okay, remote desktop we are not using remote service now. We are using role based. Okay, then we'll click on next. Okay, this is fine. Next. Okay, now see which service you require. Okay, we have so many service to choose from.
Domain.
Yeah, we need to select this Active Directory domain service, second option. Okay, and we need to click on add features, and we need to click on, yeah. See, we have so many service over here. Previously, we installed this web server IAS feature. If you have some print requirement, you can install this print. So you can DSCP, DNS, so many services are there. Okay, so based on your requirement, you need to install. Right now, we have selected this ADDS service, and we will click on next. Okay, click on next. Click on next, and we'll click on install. Okay, so it will take some time. The installation, obviously, if you are installing through GUI, it will take some time. Okay, so meanwhile, we can build our another server. Okay, or is it giving us some error? Okay, let's see. Okay, it is installing. Let's create another machine. Okay, and this machine also I am selecting server OS only, but it's recommended to go for Windows 10 or Windows 11. Okay, for a client machine, but for our labs I'm selecting server class only. That is fine. I won't be using any server. I won't be installing any service on that. I will be using that server OS as my client machine. Okay, so okay, now here one or two things you need to keep in mind. Otherwise, uh, this we can get so many issues while doing the labs. Okay, so I'll tell you those things that you need to keep in mind. Try to select the same region. Okay, don't go for different regions. Select one region only for your server, for your server OS, and for your client OS also. Select the same region. Okay, I will tell you the problems that can happen if you select different regions. Okay, okay. Let's first create this machine and then. Okay. So in networking, try to select the same virtual network which was created earlier. Okay, don't create a different network. Okay, otherwise this will also land you in some trouble. Okay, while doing the labs, I will tell you the reason behind this. Okay, first let's create this. Okay, let's see. I think our server manager. Yeah, our Active Directory domain service is installed, and you can see over here, Active Directory domain service has come up. Okay, so this is our domain service. Okay, but after installation, we need to do some post deployment configuration also. Okay, we need to promote this domain service to a domain controller. Okay, this is an important step. Okay, we once our Active Directory domain service is installed, you will get a warning, a sign like this, yellow warning sign. You need to click on that and you will get an option to promote this server to a domain control. You need to click on that. Okay, and now we have so many options coming up. So first option is add a domain controller to an existing domain. Okay, so first option is for if you have an existing domain and if you want to link the newly created domain to that existing domain, so you can go with the first option. Okay, suppose I am already having cognizant.com domain. Okay, and I am creating a subdomain like cognizant.india. So what I can do? I can select the first option and I can provide the domain name like cognizant.com, cognizant.india. And click on next and it will create a subdomain for me. But now currently I don't have any existing domain. Okay, so what I will be doing is first option is not for me. The second option is add a new domain to an existing forest. Okay, so the thing is google.com will be having so many subdomains like gmail.com, gmail.google.com, photos.google, images.google.com. Okay, so if google.com is a forest, and inside that forest we have so many domains, like gmail is a separate domain, and like images.google.com, images is a separate domain. Okay, but we have a forest called as google.com. Okay, and behind the scenes every domain is linked to that forest. Okay, so if you have already a setup like that in place where you have an existing forest, and if you want to link your domain to that forest, so you can go with the second option. But for us, we don't have anything as of now. Okay, so what we will have to do, add a new forest we will have to create. Okay, and now what we need to do, we need to provide the name of that domain. Okay, which domain that we want to create. Okay, so let's go with we can take any name. Okay, it's not, we can take cognizant.com also. Okay, why so? Because we are not making this domain public. Okay, we haven't taken this from code and we haven't done the custom domain verification and everything. We are just setting these things locally. For local use we can use any domain. Okay, we can take microsoft.com, but if you want to do the verification and everything, you will have to take a domain which is available on the GoDaddy platform. You can't take the domain which is already taken by some organization. Okay, so you need to firstly take a domain from the domain provider, and if that particular domain is available, then you need to provide the domain name over here, and then you need to do the custom domain verification. Okay, that is a different thing. Okay, that we are going to see later, but firstly we'll concentrate on our lab only. Okay, so we won't be going for cognizant.com. I just told you for reference. So we'll take a domain like mm, we'll take a domain like name. Okay, let's take lab, not okay, lab.com. Okay, let's make lab.com. This is our domain name. Okay, then we need to click on next. Yeah, here you need to provide a password. Okay, password, which password? Okay, DSRM password you need to provide. Okay, so we'll go with admin. Let's see if this goes. At the rate 1 2 3 4 5 6. Admin at the rate 1 2 3 4 5 6. Okay, and the net BIOS name will be, we have taken lab.com now, so the next net BIOS name will be only lab. Okay, it has already taken. Okay. Okay, so it will take some time. Okay, it will take some time, and this server, our server may get rebooted also. Okay, okay, okay. Our this machine is also created as your user two. Okay, so I just want to ask a simple question. What do you think? Do we need to install the Active Directory domain service on the second virtual machine also? Can anyone tell me?
I think no, sir. Actually, no, Anna.
Okay.
Because we're having on the same resource group, we're creating two virtual machines, right?
Okay. Okay. But the thing is, na, like I told, na, we need to install the Active Directory domain service. Okay. This service we need to install on one server. Okay. And the client machine will be using this service. Okay. So we don't need to install this Active Directory domain service on each and every computer. This service will be installed in one computer only, and from this computer, or you can say from this server, we will use this service. Client machine will be using this service. We just need to connect our client machine to this service, or what you can say, we will, like second VM, we have created now with the name of Azure user 2. Okay, second VM we have created with the name of Azure Azure user 2, and our first VM name is what? Azure user 1. user 1. Okay, so what we are basically doing is now we are making the our first VM as your user 1. Okay, as our domain controller, or you can say we are using the domain service over here, and all the other VMs. Okay, if we create another machine like Azure user 3. Okay, similarly if I create another machine like Azure user 4. Okay, Azure user 4. So what will be happening is now we just need to join this Azure user 2 to this machine, to this Azure user 1 machine. Okay, we'll learn how to join the client machine to the server. Okay, this is a very important step. Okay, until and unless this machine is joined, your client machine, or you can say Azure user 2 second machine is joined to the Active Directory domain service. Okay, you won't be able to implement this Active Directory service. Okay, from the first computer. Okay, to implement this or to enforce this Active Directory domain service feature from your server manager, you need to have this second computer joined to this domain or your first system. Similarly, if we are creating 10 machines, okay, we will have to join each and every machine to this domain. And after that, what will happen? If Rameshri's account is created on this AD service, if Ashwini, Sandhya, Susma's account is created on this Active Directory domain service, they all will be able to log in into this Azure user 2, Azure user 3 machine, Azure user 4 machine, or if we are creating 100 machines also, and if those 100 machines are joined to this domain, all of the users will be able to log in into each and every machine. Okay, restrictions and all we can create, that is a different thing. Okay, but if there are no restrictions, everyone will be able to log in into all the machines. Okay, okay, so what happened? See, our RDP session got disconnected. Why so? It was asking our service will get rebooted. Okay, if we install the Active Directory domain service, okay, what happens? Our server will get rebooted. Okay, if it gets rebooted, so what will happen? We will lose access to RDP. Okay, so now we will have to take the RDP again. Okay, also we are able to take the RDP. Okay, let's see. I think we'll get some error. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, we are able to take. Okay, this the time. Okay, so it will take some time. Meanwhile, we can take the RDP of the second machine also. Okay, okay. Okay.